Hi, welcome back to the channel. I mixed a cauliflower, cabbage, pineapple, ginger, turmeric in the same jar to get some super gut healthy food, and this is what happened. Pure magic.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so here we go. Let's grab the ingredients. Cabbage, cauliflower, fresh ginger, turmeric, powdered just in case, and a nice pineapple. If this is your first time fermenting anything, fermenting food using lacto fermentation, then if you want a basic recipe, then I'll put a little link here to my first sauerkraut recipe. That is a basic sauerkraut, runs you through all the principles of sauerkraut, and it's a great watch. But today we're going to level it up. We're going to make a sauerkraut that's game changing. It's next level. It's great for your gut. It's got loads and loads of good bacteria in it. It's going to make you feel healthy, make you feel great. Cheap as chips to make. Let's dive into it. Let's make some sauerkraut. So good produce always gives you a good result. And we're going to start off by shredding the cabbage, cutting it into quarters, and then cutting out the root. I'm going to shred it on a Chinese mandolin to get a real nice thin finish, but if you don't want to do this, you can always do it by hand, chopping it nice and finely. And if you are using a mandolin, try and make sure you use a guard. Safety first. Once I get to the end of the cabbage, I don't risk it, I just chop it by hand, rather than risking my fingertips on a sharp Chinese mandolin. Now, next up, we're going to take the fresh organic pineapple. Only pineapples I have are the organic ones, but here we go. Now, the pineapple should give you a nice sweetness to sauerkraut. If you don't like sauerkraut, this could be a good intro option, as it's got the nice sweetness from the pineapple, which counterbalances the tanginess from the cabbage. Now, I'm just taking off the skin and the core with my blunt knife. Do not ask me why, but on this occasion, I am taking the pineapple out of the skin like it's a melon boat. You can probably skin it whole, which is probably easier, but it works this way. Now I'm going to cut it down into nice, small, tiny dice, just so it sits in there, the cabbage, nicely, and it's easy to eat. Next, this beautiful seasonal cauliflower here in the UK. The cauliflower is going to add a really nice crunch to the sauerkraut, giving you textures between the soft pineapple and the crunchy cauliflower. Just going to take the cauliflower and then chop it down roughly into the same size chunks as the pineapple. And now we're going to mix all those ingredients together, getting ready to weigh them out. So the important part of sauerkraut and lacto fermentation and fermenting foods at home, that is your salt ratio to vegetables. This keeps down the bad bacteria but allows the good bacteria to ferment your food. We want a 2% ratio to your vegetable, so that's 20 grams of salt for every kilo of vegetables. Now, I had both options of fresh turmeric and powdered turmeric. I wanted to grab fresh turmeric just to show you the inside, so let's snap it open. If you wanted to use fresh turmeric, you could simply grate it like ginger or cut it into little slices to add in there. But I'm going to add powdered turmeric. The plan was not to get yellow hands, but naturally by massaging it, I did. So I added 1 tablespoon of ground turmeric. So for this batch, I weighed it out. I had 500 grams of cabbage, cauliflower, and pineapple. So I added 10 grams of salt. Now you want to give it a good squeeze to get that salt into the cabbage, which helps break the cabbage down and release the water. Next, I'm using the back of a spoon to peel a knob of fresh ginger, and I'm going to grate that thumb-sized knob of ginger into the mix. As you can see, it's already broken down. It's going lower down in the bowl, allowing me to add the ginger. Look at all that liquid coming out. That's what you want. Now, I like a little background heat and a little bit of depth of flavour, so I'm adding this crispy onion and chili paste. It is quite salty, so be careful, but it doesn't affect it that much. There is a bit of leeway with that 2%. Now, a good mix, and it's looking golden already. Now I'm going to put them in these fermentation jars. Have you seen some of my other videos? I always use these. They've got the little rubber teat on top, which allows the gas to release, but nothing to go in. And it comes with these glass weights that help weigh down the sauerkraut. Now carefully, but messily, I'm adding the sauerkraut to the jar. Make sure all that liquid goes in there, because you want that liquid to submerge over the sauerkraut. So scrape it all out and then push it down as far as you can so the liquid starts rising up. Now we're going to add that glass weight. That glass weight is just heavy enough with a little push, little shove to lift that water up above the sauerkraut, as you can see right here. You want that water to stop the oxygen getting to the cabbage, and I use a tissue just to clean up the jar, because all those little bits of cabbage stuck at the top are going to get bacteria on, so you've got a nice clean jar above the water level. Make sense? Good. And now we're going to leave that at room temperature from 7 to 11 days, depending on how tangy you want your sauerkraut. Okay, so 10 days later, it's been a little bit cool in the UK. So if it's warm in your kitchen, it might take 7 days, but it's been a little bit cooler in the UK at the moment. So this is taking about 10 days to ferment. Make sure you keep it submerged. You don't want any vegetables sticking out of that liquid. You want to keep it underneath the liquid for the lacto fermentation to take care of itself and good bacteria to build and no bacteria in that jar. You should see bubbles, but here we go. The difference with this one, for one, the turmeric, the ginger, the lacto fermentation, it's great for your insides. It tastes healthy, but it tastes bloody delicious. And why? Because that cauliflower in there is adding some crunch. The cabbage is softened in the process, but the cauliflower's got a nice crunch to it. So when you crunch it, it's got that good texture. That chili in there is adding that little bit of fire in the background, along with the ginger and the pineapple, that perfect balance of sweetness to counteract the tangy flavour of the fermentation. Highly recommend you make this one. Super tasty. And if you enjoyed this video, check out this video next.